Hello, 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 Linda. With your
Hello, hello,
nails.
hello,
With
hello.
your
What's your name
nails.
again? Hello.
What's new? What's been happening over the other side of the pond?
Oh,
Everything's
you know,
everything's
same stuff.
changing.
Same stuff, different day, same phase, different place. What do they say?
Yeah.
Same phase, different thing, same thing. I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
I, I,
it, it,
I'm in a little bit of a what are they now calling it? They're calling it the convid brain fog.
oh yeah.
I haven't had it, thank goodness, but this week I've got an infection, guys. Okay, so I'm on antibiotics, so I do have a little bit of a scatterbrain every now and again. I've noticed, but something that has happened, which is very interesting. Even though I'm on 2,000 milligrams of antibiotics per day,
Yeah.
um, my psychic abilities have not stopped.
Right.
So I'm really happy that I'm getting messages. I know things that I couldn't possibly know. So I'm just hoping that I have got tonight's $40 million Powerball numbers. I'm not encouraging people to go out and gamble, but hello, when it's that big here in Australia, I did put one in today, Mike.
Did you?
It would be nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't normally do that stuff. Only when I feel inspired. So I'm not one that
Yeah.
goes out and does
Well,
it every day, as it were, or every
I
week.
I will go there. I did have a dream. Um, so it'll be interesting to see because I only got one number.
Right.
Hopefully, whichever number it was. But yeah, I only got one number in this dream. So I'm going to see if it just, if my dreams are still working while I'm on all these drugs that I'm on at the moment.
Right.
Um, yeah, it's all fun, isn't it?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, it's all fun.
you know,
Yeah, Amanda just said, I hope you win. Me too, Amanda. I'll be a philanthropist. That's what I want to be. I want to be a philanthropist and say, who wants some? Who wants some?
well, Linda, there's plenty to be going around for everyone pretty soon.
Oh, yes, I know, darling.
You know.
Because really good things are coming in about 3 years. I've seen it like since 2001 when I died. Um, you know, real estate's dropping, cars are dropping, because we were not using fuels anymore. Food will be dropping prices. It's going to be really good in about 3 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've just got to get through all this madness and weirdness.
I mean, I've
Um,
got to dispel the property myth a little bit. We always talk about all properties going up, and we own our own house, and great. Yeah, but what am I supposed to do? Take a brick out and go and sell it and cash in on my property? you know, the only time we benefit
yeah.
from this is if we sell and then buy downgrade a little bit
Well,
where you cash in.
that's,
But other than
I
that,
actually, yeah.
you know,
Well, the prices of Australia here in Australia, the prices here in Australia, the prices of houses. See, I've got a little bit of a brain fog tonight, guys. Real estate in Australia is skyrocketing at this point. There's no need for it. There really isn't. There's no need for the prices to go up. Um, the interest rates haven't changed. There's no reason for real estate to be so high right now in Australia. So there's something going on in the shadows.
yeah, yeah,
I'm trying to talk in code here. Sometimes it doesn't work. Yeah, it's all good. So let's get off that. We've got a great show coming up tonight, guys.
yeah.
I've got heaps of notes as usual. I like showing my notes. Oh my God, look at this! I've got heaps of notes. Um, we've got a really good NDE story. I've
Mm,
got heaps of notes for this one
yeah,
because what he said was very similar to what happened to me, darling.
right.
And I love hearing these frequent commonalities
Yeah.
where people, because I've never met this guy. His name is Jim Diamond, by the way.
Diamond Jim, he
Um,
calls himself.
Diamond Jim. Okay, I didn't realise which way it went, so I
Yeah,
just wrote him as Diamond Dash Jim. But yeah, the similarities that he spoke about, I get the goosebumps. It's, it's like if you're a kid and you go to a foreign country and then someone comes to visit and they say, oh, I've just been to this country, and they're telling you all about the same things that you experienced when you went there. You get that shiver of excitement and that memory comes back. It's absolutely beautiful that we do talk about these NDE cases. So, guys, whoever is watching, we do want people to share their stories.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just do up a little 5-minute video. I've got a little icon here on my computer. It's a little camera. So you can just record yourself and just be honest about what experiences you've had. And then email it to myself or Mike so we can get it on the show. Because we love hearing people like us, real stories about real people. Not that I want to quote that because that's a line for an ad for a university here in Australia. But, we want to hear real stories about common people, the average person. Because at the end of the day, Mike and I are just average people that have had experiences. So if you do want to get on our show, guys, give us a little video. We'll put it on there.
It only needs to be about 5 minutes, just the nuts and bolts of it all. But apart from NDEs, if you've had any spiritual experience that there's no earthly explanation for, or you've been at somebody's bedside when they're making that transition and they experience a DBV or a deathbed vision, you can talk about that. Also, a shared death vision. Sometimes you get to see and experience what the person making that transition is doing. So I think actually, we've heard a lot from celebrities. It's also good to hear a lot from regular people because it encourages other regular people to get involved in this because, this is part of life. And since the vibration of the planet is speeding up and our consciousness is getting on a higher vibration, this veil that separates the two worlds is becoming thinner. And more and more people are going to be experiencing a lot of spiritual stuff which they can't explain. But if they get it out,
happening.
Is
happening.
It helps them to understand more rather than just thinking it in their mind. So they should talk it out, and it'd be great to hear what people have to say.
I was supposed to go out this Saturday. Now, this has happened 3 times to me in the past week where people have rung me and they say, I've lived in my house for 20 years. Nothing has ever happened, but in the last 3 months, I'm getting all this activity. So I have been out to 2 people, and I'm supposed to go again on Saturday, but I've actually cancelled that because now I'm not feeling the best. So it's not fair to go out. I want to be tip-top 100% on the ball when I go out there. So I, but it is funny that this veil is starting to crumble. More activity. It's like the movie Ghostbusters where the energy is changing. So the two worlds, it's like a, what do they use the word in the Marvel movies where all the planets align? A convergence. That's the word. It's a convergence. Linda, between like portals.
Just to let you know, Ian says that your microphone is way louder than Mike's mic.
Oh, thank you. I'm going to turn myself down. There you go. So how's that for you now, Ian? I've just turned myself down. I'm not using my earphones tonight because one died, and because I've got an infection, it's hard having just the one earpiece in. So yeah, my earphones are out tonight, guys. Yeah, so I'm just using my computer audio tonight. There you go.
You was talking about about people living in houses for 20 years and they're beginning to see things or feel things. I've lived in this house for over 300 years and I haven't seen a thing. Tumbleweed goes down the street.
Insert the noise of crickets.
That's it. That's my joke for the day.
The elevator music. Oh, you're funny,
Oh,
Mike.
God.
Someone's got to have the
Should we get
jokes
on
on
with the
us
show?
tonight, I tell you.
We get on with the
Yeah.
show. Now, the first one I've got
Yeah,
to tell
let's
people, the
go.
first one might be a little bit offish, a little bit creepy. I don't normally put this stuff in, but I think it's important. We're going to get on some really beautiful stuff to balance that. But
Yeah.
if we don't take care of the energy in houses, this is the kind of thing that can happen. So let's run with this one, and see what happens.
Yep.
Here
Let's
we
have a
go.
look at it.
Here we go.
This chilling video was uploaded to the YouTube channel Tommy Wells in 2011. The uploader claims it's just one example of the supernatural events that happen in their home. The video was taken during a family gathering for a birthday. Several young girls are crowded around a birthday cake as friends and family watch on. Everything seems perfectly normal until the kitchen tap inexplicably turns itself on.
You happy for your birthday?
Oh my God, Tommy, it's gonna start again. Oh my God, damn.
It ain't gotta mess everything up.
He's gonna mess this up for everybody now.
The camera holder is clearly freaked out as they announce that this stuff is starting again. The young girls become frightened and are not sure what's happening. Soon after, one of the cupboards flies open. Several of the drawers begin opening and closing on their own. One falls to the ground. The children run for safety in a panic. While the adults struggle to explain what exactly is going on, the video abruptly ends. It's interesting to note that while this video is hosted on Tommy Wells' channel, the video was originally posted to a channel called Jerry Wells 1. Jerry Wells' channel used to document the haunting of a family in Tennessee. The videos spanned several years, logging everything from paranormal activity in the house.
What do you think?
Well, first thing I say to people when they've got activity is I say to them, are you getting physically hurt? I can't see anyone in that footage getting physically hurt.
No.
So I don't think it's a malice intention here, okay? Then you've got to look at what's actually happening. It's a birthday party for a kid.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I've written down. Is it like someone saying, surprise, I'm here?
Yeah.
That's what I wrote down because it's a party. But then you've also got to consider that this has been happening a lot for this family.
Yeah.
So could it be the puberty age kids in their house creating the energy that's doing this? Because there is a lot of research being done to prove that children during the ages of 10 to like 14 are like showing telekinesis because they've got high energy within, the hormonal changes of their body. So we've got that to consider.
Yeah.
But then you look at what's been happening, like the drawers being pulled out. That's like someone just wants attention.
Yeah.
And it could be one of the other kids who's not their birthday.
Yeah.
They think, oh, Sally gets all the attention, and it's Sally's birthday. So they create all this stuff happening, so then they get sort of attention.
Yeah.
Or it could be like a dead grandmother in the house, and she's saying, hey, I'm here. I want to get out my knife and fork, because you don't know what cupboards are opening,
Yeah.
It could be the plate cupboard, it could be the cutlery. She's just getting out a knife and fork to have cake too, and she's pouring herself a drink of water. You don't know unless you actually get somebody in there to communicate and say, hey, who are you to this family, But if I went out there and I was there that night, I'd be actually saying to that family, guess what? You've got a loving grandparent trying to let you know that they've come to celebrate the party.
Yeah.
It could be that. It could be that, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my thing on this is I would have thought that a more evolved spirit, as it were, would have had a less daunting way of communicating with them.
See, and also, we've forgotten something here. Look how the parents reacted.
Yeah.
They're scared.
Yeah.
So, of course, that fear is going to go to the kids.
Yeah.
So whenever something happens, you know, mums, you could hear her saying, "Oh no, it's happening again."
Yeah.
So that's instilling that fear into the children.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the first thing I'd be saying, if I was going to talk to like the family that lived there, the first person I'd be talking to is the parents.
Right.
It's not scary because you haven't been hurt, you haven't been pushed down, kicked, dead from whatever is
or had your
happening.
hair pulled.
So, I've had chunks pulled out of my hair. You know, like I'm talking like this much hair at once getting chunked out of my hair. That's extremely painful. It takes a hell of a long time to grow back because look at the length of my hair. So, you know, that is a very malice, something that they do to me when they pull out chunks of my hair. But no one there's getting physically attacked. And it's only because of the fear in the parents that's going down to the children. So, you know, a little bit of education there. So then you stand back from it, you take your emotion out of it, and you say, right, what is really happening here? Rather than just assuming, oh, my God, this is so scary. You know, I have had to look at this a couple of times. I honestly do believe this is paranormal.
Yeah.
Because there's just so much stuff happening there. It'd be hard to have wires and stuff.
Yeah.
Because of which doors are, you'd see the strings and people would be in certain areas. You know, there's too many people there. So I really do believe it is paranormal, but just how scary is it really?
Yeah.
No one got hurt. So, you know, I think it's just someone wanting attention or someone that just, you know, they may have been saying, hey, can you shut up? I'm trying to sleep, you know, because you've got a party happening or something, you know. So, they've got to go in and just work out who is there first and see what they want, you know, just be respectful to it. What do you want?
I mean, I wonder if anyone watching or listening here has had similar experience to this. I've had a few things move around. We were sitting at the dinner table and I had a little chocolate and I screwed the paper up, put it on the table, and then a few seconds after went bloom, flicked across the table. But we were talking about my cousin who passed tragically at the age of about 14 years of age. And I know he's always around me. And in this case...
So that's probably him saying, I'm the one you're talking about.
I'm here, you know. But for me, and it's just my experience, you've had different experiences of this, and Jeff and others, you know, you do ghost hunting and go into... I generally don't. I do house clearing, and I've cleared a theatre before as well. That's different, slightly different to the work you do. I must admit, I wouldn't be too happy there either if that was happening right in front of me. I don't think I'd jump out my skin or anything, and I'd have to steel myself and get rational as to what's going on. You're familiar with that line of work. I'm not so familiar, and that would be a little bit, okay.
See, okay, so you've just reminded me of something else, Mike.
Yeah.
I don't get offended by people. Okay, I don't get offended, and I never try to judge people. I don't try to do that. But what irks me with this sort of family where they have all this activity, I say to them, have you ever considered setting up cameras to capture it? Yeah. And they all look at me like, no, why not? Yeah. You know, so it irks me, you know, so because I know a bit more about it than what these poor people do. But, you know, and what is a video camera? You know, you can go and get any old camera phone, you know, $100, and you can just set up a camera off a telephone, you know, a phone camera. You know, you can get video recorders like these. You know, you can get these things now for about $50. You know, the old camcorders, because nobody ever uses these ones anymore, so they're really as cheap as rice, you know. Oh, God, look, I don't even know how to open it now.
Is that digital
you know, so
or got a tape?
These things. Huh?
Is it digital or a tape?
No, this is a digital one, and it's got a memory card in it, so you can put it into your computer and watch it. Right. But, you know, these handy cams, they were like $1,000 when they came out. But you can get them now at second-hand shops for about $50, you know? So it's really cheap to just put this up in your room, you know, you open it up. Now that I'm holding it right, you know, you just set it up. It's got its own little screen, so you can, you know, maneuver it to where you want it to, like go down a corridor or in the kitchen or whatever, and just film it, you know? And if nothing happens, start the tape again, you know, the memory card, the storage. You know, because then the more we accumulate, the more you can say, all right, it's only happening when the mum's here. That sort of thing. Okay? Oh, it only happens at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So then you've got that sort of thing. Or it only happens when the cat's around or something, you know? You'll find some sort of commonality with the activity. So then you can work out, is it attached to that person? Is it at this time of day? You know, so then you've got something to go on rather than just blindly just saying, hey, come in and tell us what's going on. You know what I mean?
It's something I think if this is happening to people would also be an important thing to do in case you want to get a psychic investigator in who will have a lot of backstory so they can, you know, work forward with that. I mean, in the documentary Calling Earth, they talk a lot about EVPs, and they document bloody well everything, and they itemize it from A, B and C. A, which is like absolutely crystal clear. B, yes, we can make it out, and C, slightly inaudible. But, so I think this would be something to do. I would also say if people did want to experience EVPs, electronic voice phenomena, in a safe environment, obviously do it in truth and light. But your best bet is to do it at the same time every day or every week, whatever you decide. If you're going to do it once a week, do it at the same time, same place and in the same environment because of energy and frequency. I mean, we used the table yesterday, Tuesday. Tuesday's our table tipping day. And someone else joined us and the energy changed on the table. It wasn't bad by any means. It just changed. Because when we do the table with me and this person, we put our hands on it and it starts dancing straight away because it knows every Tuesday. I'll tell you a little secret. We do the old Tesla 369. We do the table tipping at 3 o'clock. Circle starts at 6 o'clock and we finish at 9 o'clock.
Good girl. Oh, good girl. Sorry, Mike, I've got the brain fog coming in.
That's all right, because the person I do the table with is a girl. So,
so hey, anyway. I live with my daughter. You know, everything is. Oh, and the cat's a girl too. So everything in this house is good girl. Oh my God. Anyway, but what do you guys think? Watching this, comment whether you think it's real, first of all. You know, because Mike and I haven't really said that it's not. You know, you may think it was fake. Let us know what you think.
Would you be out of there in a flash if that happened? Or would you stay and say, what the hell? You know, so anyway.
Yeah, I'd be staying. I'd be saying, what else can you do? Show me what else you can do. You know, because they've got a lot of energy in them to open doors and throw things around. What else can you do?
You know, I know a medium who's, I wouldn't say he's an exorcist, but he does the kind of work you do. And I know this works because I've had to do something similar to this with sleep paralysis. If he comes across something like this who's messing him about, he has a right go at them and tells them to stop it, get out. You're not has a right fighting match with him because I think he's showing no fear. He's not showing any fear.
That's exactly right.
And those lower energies, as you know, need that fear for them to function.
That's exactly right, Mike. So a lot of them do need the lower energy.
Sorry, Ian says I'd be very interested in talking to the entity. Yep. That's an option.
That's exactly right, Ian. Yeah, I'd be seriously sitting there telling all the family to get out of the house, leave me alone here, you know, and just find out who they are, why they're there, and what they want. You know, that's virtually the 3 questions that you do for any ghosts. Why? Why are you here? What do you want?
Yeah.
And who are you? The why, where, when type thing. You know, who are you? What are you doing here, and what do you want? So it shows respect. It shows that you're trying to work out who they are.
Yeah.
You know, which is respect as well.
Yeah.
Most importantly, you know, if they say, "Oh, I want peace and quiet," and if this family's got 16 kids, 14 cats, and 2 dogs, and a bird that squawks all day, then you know that it's not going to work out.
No.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
And I can tell you who's going to be moving.
Super.
Oops.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good video, Mike. I like that one.
Let's
Wow.
move on to the pub ghost. A question for you. Now, I know spirit is everywhere, and you know we've seen this poltergeist ghost in this house, but there does seem to be a higher level of ghosts in pubs. You know, I've seen many videos where, you know, like we showed one of the Essex pub where the doors just swing open and the 2 electricians are wondering what's going on. And there seems to be a lot more activity in pubs. In your opinion, is it because back in the day, or maybe even in the day, the vibration of the pub encourages that lower ghostly type of entity? What is it about a pub?
I wouldn't say it's a lower vibration, but like Shelley came to my house with a guy that, you know, he felt, but he couldn't see her. Mm-hmm. So he came here and brought Shelley here, and she stayed for 3 days. She just wanted to hang around people who could see her and interact with her. Right. So when I think about Shelley, why do ghosts go to hotels? Yeah. Because you've got to look at the atmosphere that there's in a hotel. Yeah. Who goes to a hotel, sits in a corner and cries? Yeah. Not often. No. Everyone's there drinking, they're happy, they're merry, they're chatting, laughing, giggling. And I reckon and also if it is a past patron of that hotel that's now inhabiting it, they like that energy that's being created there, that atmosphere, okay? It's atmosphere. Yeah. So, you know, most pubs are, you know, you walk in and there's always someone laughing in a pub. Yeah. You know, you go to a movie theatre and it depends on the movie, whether it's Jaws or Poltergeist, right through to Shrek, you know. So the energy could change in there from really scary to really happy, friendly kid movie, you know. Yeah. So pubs, I think ghosts like hanging around in pubs because it makes them feel welcome. Right. They feel that they're not alone when they're in a pub. You know, I go into my local pub. I go out the back and get a hot chocolate, and I always talk to people out on the smoker deck. Right. Because it's a release for me. It gets me out of my house and I go up and have a chat with someone. So, you know, we have the same personalities as we are when we die, ghosts I'm talking about that stay. So why wouldn't they go there and just hang around with other happy people? Yeah. You know, but at the end of the day, though, it's not helping them because they have to realise, A, they're dead, sort out why they've stayed, because there's generally a few reasons why ghosts stay here. Yeah. Unfinished business, they want to see, you know, their children grow up, that sort of stuff. So there is a few reasons why ghosts actually do stay here, but they have to remember that their soul is eternal, and this is only one life. Yeah. And if they go home, they'll discover that they've had many thousands of lives with many thousand children, mothers, fathers, husbands and wives, sisters, uncles, that they'll all remember. Yeah. So because they have that fear of just going there to discover all that, they stay here in this existence and just try to fit in. Right. You know, that's my belief, you know, and that's actually a belief from Rick Burden. He's a big psychic medium as well, is a good friend of mine. You know, because we have discussed, because him and I actually went out to a pub one night that was haunted, and he explained it virtually the same way that I have the same philosophy, because he virtually said to me, and he looked at me and said, well, You know, why wouldn't you want to hang out in a pub because everyone's happy here?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of reasons, you know. But this one that we're about to look at, I've got my notes for this one because I think I know what they're doing in this one too. Because it's interesting what they throw.
Okay, I shall keep stum then until till after. Let's run this through. Let's see what you think. I'll give my voice to this, and let's see what the people think. Here we go.
Sure.
Footage. The CCTV footage shows just about the entire bar counter. At one end of the counter, a young bartender is leaning over the bar to speak to a customer. As she takes his order, she's suddenly shocked by a pain in her leg. She turns around only to discover that a shot glass has flown from the shelf and struck her in the calf. Several patrons seated at the bar immediately stand and begin pointing, asserting that they saw the glass fly from the shelf on its own. In addition, several viewers have said that if you look closely at the register as this paranormal activity is happening, you may catch a quick glimpse of a ghostly face watching the hubbub. The staff and customers of Katie's have seen glasses fly from the shelves before. A long time ago, there was a hospital running on the same land where the bar exists today. In 1909, the hospital burnt to the ground, killing numerous patients and staff members. Today, it's believed that the spirits of those who perished in the fire haunt the bar. In addition to the wayward glasses, customers and staff have reported hearing strange noises, toilet seats jumping open, and even spotting ghostly figures in 19th century clothing. So far, the ghosts of Katie's pub have been more of a nuisance than a danger. Paranormal aficionados regularly visit the bar to grab a drink, have a bite to eat, and keep an eye out for the spirits that have made the pub famous.
So, what do you think? It's a good shot. That was a good shot with that shot glass.
Okay, so following on with what we were just talking about with that birthday party, right? Yeah. We talk about a pub. People go to a pub and what do they do there? They generally drink. So this may be a ghost who's upset that he hasn't got his drink yet.
Right.
So he's throwing the glass at the waitress to pour him a drink. See, you've got to look at what happens.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's the real reason. It could be 10,000 different reasons. You know, he could have just been upset and just flung it off. But then we look at what else is happening in that hotel that used to be a hospital where people died when it burnt to the ground. Yeah. One of the things that made me laugh was the toilet lids keep getting pushed up and down. Why would a ghost go into a toilet and make the lid go up and down? But then he said about the 19th century.
Yeah.
In 100 years ago, we didn't have toilet lids.
No.
So, you know, this could highly be someone that was like 100 or 200 years ago.
Thinking,
and they've got this infatuation with the toilet lid.
What the hell is this?
You know? What the hell is this? Or could it be a girl who says, hey, who put the toilet lid down? You know?
Yeah.
You know, or it's a guy trying to lift it to go to the toilet, but he doesn't have to anymore. So we've got to really look at the psychology of why they do that, whatever it is that they're doing. But, you know, toilets, I remember when I lived in Melbourne, we had a ghost in the house and he used to flush the toilet. You know, what the freak is that psychology? Why do you have to flush the toilet at 2 a.m. for? Yeah. But it's, you know, you look back and we've only had flush toilets for like the last 50, 60 years. Yeah. You know, before that you had to go outside and use a outhouse in Australia. So it may be that they're just infatuated. What's this technology? Yeah. You know, I wish I had this when I was alive, you know, that type of thing. So the toilet lid, I think this is a ghost that's actually intrigued with technology rather than, you know, and it's playful. You know, look how many kids play with a toilet seat, for goodness sake. You know, it's playfulness. It's not harming anyone. It's not hurting anyone or maiming them. So I do think that this is just a prankster type ghost that they've got.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, when you think of it that way,
Mm-hmm.
why wouldn't you throw the glass at the waitress and say, hey, you haven't given me a drink yet, here's my glass.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody else sitting here's got a drink, why is mine?
Yeah.
So it may be that.
Yeah.
But it wasn't to hurt her, because it
No.
only went to her leg. So, if that ghost really wanted to hurt her, that glass would have shattered all over her head and she would have been cut and really hurt.
Yeah.
But at least it just landed on her leg, like, hey, I'm here, help me out, type thing, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, back in the day when I was in a rescue circle, we did a party for the children to bring them into the circle and bring them into the light, those that wanted to come. We had balloons and we put drinks out in little shot glasses and little chocolates. We all left the room for an interval and had tea and coffee, whatever. And after about 5 minutes, we hear pop, 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 pop. All the balloons have popped. So we go back in and for whatever reason, I decide to eat one of the chocolates. All the taste was gone from it.
Yeah.
It was still sealed, still wrapped, but they sucked all the taste out of it. And
it's like they suck the energy out of it when they pop the balloons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, I can understand that the ghost wants his drink. He can't physically lift it, I wouldn't have thought, but he can sup that juice out of it, whatever he wants to do. So it kind of makes sense. Also, the fact that there was a fire there in a hospital, maybe still one or two spirits are traumatized that roam the bar late at night. Because
and who wouldn't want to drink after you died in a fire? Seriously.
Yeah.
I just died in a fire. I need a drink. Where's the bartender?
When I lived in London, quite close to me was an old mental asylum, and I think I've mentioned this. And it was one of those few, if not the only one, where if you look down the corridor, it goes to point zero. So it was an old mental institution. Now it's a Virgin Gym, and it's these fancy bloody apartments on this site. But even though it was closed down, when I was living in that area, police would always be around because some of the patients would be coming back in their dressing gowns, wherever they were living, back to this place where they lived. If they do that when they're alive and they haven't fully accepted that they've passed over, then there's no reason why they wouldn't be doing this when they've passed. So
that's right.
As they say, all's fair in love and war.
I can just, sorry, I'm going to try and make tonight a bit funny, Mike. I can just imagine they've turned it into a gym, and you go down there to do your workout, and there's a guy with the white, the white gown from the hospital that's opened at the back with just the string tie over your butt cheeks, and he's sitting there running on the treadmill.
Better still.
We'll get into that. That'd be so cool,
Remember the video clip we showed a few weeks ago where the spirit dragged that guy across the floor?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah?
I know.
He didn't want him in the gym. So I wonder, do they retain all their personalities like that?
I believe they do, darling. Yes. If you're an angry person, you're going to be an angry ghost. If you're a loving and kind person, you're still the same when you pass over. I look at movies. I love the movie Ghost with Sam Wheat, played by Patrick Swayze. He loved his wife, so when he died, he still loved her. He died. He knew he died because he saw the white light. But he went back to save her because that's who he was when he was real. And then he solved his own murder, because that's the personality that he was. Because I've got to stop there because I just said personality. In psychology, we teach that personality is only the traits that society makes us create into. Our behaviours and our character is what we're born with.
Right.
Okay? So when we talk about personality traits, we're really talking about characteristics. So if our characteristics is kind, loving, we will still have that when we pass over. Okay? You know, so personality is only defined by what society has actually done to us. You know, you could be a loving person and then you lose your job, which is society. You're in to your eyeballs in credit card debt, well, there's society.
Yeah.
You know, your kids are flunking at school, there's more society. So now you start getting mental health because that's your personality, because that's what society has done to us. So characteristics and personality are totally different things, okay? But I believe that our personality, we can still carry on those traits when we're deceased, but it's more our characteristics that we take with us when we become a ghost. You know, because there are some very, very nasty people that have got characteristics of evilness within them.
Yeah.
You know, and they're absolutely the sort of ghosts that you just don't want to go out and investigate. Because they're very nasty, they're very selfish, they're very conceited, you know, inconsiderate little buggers, you know. So, yeah, you're really, you know, you've got to watch what ghosts you go out, you know, so always getting the backstory about what's going on. That's a really good idea before you ever go out on a ghost hunt. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, there you go. So we've seen our ghost stories now, so I can cross the list. Yay!
So let's go over and look at this really beautiful story of Mike Marano. And, you know, this is the story of a transplant that was required. Obviously, tragically, someone lost their life in order to give this, to be the donor for this person. But there's a beautiful outcome to this, and this kind of thing doesn't happen very often. And I won't say any more because I don't want to do a spoiler alert. I think I'll just let this roll, then we can all discuss this after. And don't forget, as usual, people, please do comment on this. This is a beautiful story. So let's run with this. Here we go.
In 1990, Mike Marano, a 47-year-old carpenter, was diagnosed with hepatitis C. By 1995, his liver was rapidly failing.
I really slowed down, and it got to the point where everything hurt. Everything that I did hurt, and it exhausted me.
His doctors sent him from his home in Hawaii to one of the world's best kidney centers in Dallas, Texas.
When I arrived, I was in such poor condition that the doctor took one look at me, and he put me into the hospital.
Mike, I'm going to want to admit you tonight.
Mike's only hope for survival was to find a suitable organ donor. By the 4th week, Mike's condition had become critical. He was running out of time.
The doctor came in late afternoon, took one look at me, and he said,
"It looks like we're going to need to get that organ tonight."
And I'm thinking to myself, gee, you know, tonight, huh? You know, I've been waiting all this time. No, not tonight.
Without a transplant, Mike would be dead within hours. And then they received a call.
It was about 8:30, and the phone rang. And the coordinator said, "We have a donor, and the surgery will be tomorrow morning."
Okay, thank you. Sweetie, they found one. They found a match for you, sweetie.
Mike did very well. I think he's going to be okay.
Okay.
The organ was...
But when Mike regained consciousness, he was unable to move.
The pain was the worst part. It felt like I was on fire. It took me a long time to figure out that I wasn't really on fire. And I used to even call my wife and say, you know, I don't think I'm going to make it.
Hello?
I'm not gonna make it.
I was so tired of the pain.
Sweetie?
Finally, I got to a stage where I was just so worn out that I finally just passed out. And that's when I went into this real deep state. And the next thing that I recall is that all of a sudden, I'm wide awake and I'm down inside my body. And I can see my organs. And I can see that they just wanted to stop. And I said, yeah, it's okay. Go ahead, you can stop. Just as when I said that, this light expanded on my right side. And out of this came the face of this cute young blonde girl.
I know you can do it.
And she starts going, now hang in there. I know you can do this, just hang in there. And I'm thinking to myself, who's this girl? And she keeps on going.
Don't give up on me now, come on. I know you can do this.
And I said to myself, yeah, I can do this. Yeah, she's right. And I just looked around and I just went, oh, wow.
After his vision, his recovery was steady. He just kept getting better.
And then they said, you know what? I think you can go to the apartment and stay there.
I took him there and we were sitting in the living room and I said, would you like to see the paper for the day that you had your transplant?
Sandy handed him the paper she'd saved as a memento, and almost immediately he saw a familiar face.
I said, this is the girl I saw.
This is her. This is the one in my dreams.
The girl in the picture was 18-year-old Tina Mink, killed in a tragic accident the day of Mike's surgery. Tina was a high school senior and the loving daughter of Terry and Donna Mink. The two couples agreed to meet at a conference given by Life Gift, the organization that coordinated the organ donation.
I've got some amazing things to tell you about your daughter.
I saw her. She's okay.
And we were stunned by the remark.
Mike then told them about his vision.
He said she was like a little cheerleader, just,
I know you can do it.
you know, egging me on, go, go, go. You know, you can do this, you can do this. In fact, what was so unique about the way Mike said this, don't give up on me, don't give up on me, is because that's what she would do at all the softball games.
They called her the team's little cheerleader. And so we just thought that was the funniest thing because she could be very bossy, you know, whenever she wanted you to do something. It sounded just like her.
So, beautiful story.
Isn't it gorgeous?
Yeah.
Lovely story.
Yeah.
You know, wow.
Sadly, someone had to lose their life. In this case, it was this girl. Maybe it was her destiny. That we don't know. But I like the way that, you know, this guy is giving up on himself. And, you know, in many ways, it'd be a kind of waste of life if he, not only him, but for the girl, if he did give up.
Yeah, that's right.
So, and that was a very powerful message that come through. So,
of course it is. Yeah, so what I've written down is angel or spirit, because they called her an angel.
Yeah.
You know, we humans, we're not angels. We'd know if we were angels, right? We're a couple of classes a little bit below angel level, okay? So I don't like them using the word angel, right? But was it angelic? Angelic.
Yeah.
Did the angels allow her to come through to him? Or was it just of her own free will that she came to him? Either way, it's a gorgeous, gorgeous story. And, you know, her spirit obviously still wanted to live.
Yeah.
And the confirmations that he gave to that family where they said, yes, that was her. Yes, that's what she did. Yes, yes, yes. That just so amplifies that emotion of love that he would have been feeling.
Right.
You know, that purpose of life that he now had. You know, I'm not just doing it for me. I'm doing it now because I've got this girl's organ in me as well. You know, so it's an amazing story where he's now out getting out this amazing story to others, sharing his experience and really giving us all that hope that even after we pass on, we can still help other people.
Yeah.
Total strangers. Yeah. We can still go and help. You know, and that's why I love the videos that we watch, Mike. How many videos have we seen where someone has a car accident and then some unknown stranger just appears and helps them out of the blue?
Yeah.
You know, it's amazing that compassion still comes through from the other side.
Yeah.
Wow. So I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just gonna send out some love hearts because it's gorgeous. I love it.
Yeah. I mean, one of the miraculous things here with this story is, if this is not dramatized in any way, is that he was pretty much in the last chance saloon. He needed a donor, you know, within a week, I think she said. But this donor miraculously turns up.
So look at that for a synchronicity as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's quite incredible.
There's a lot of synchronicities in there.
And I don't know, again, if it was in the recording that I showed there, because I edited it, but I didn't know there was 54 or over 50 bloody body parts that you could share with someone. But there was 50 of parts of her organs that went to other people as well. And it wasn't just this person.
Wow.
But I mean, 50. Wow. So when we look at it from that aspect, perhaps, just perhaps, this was her destiny. That this was meant to be. Either way,
absolutely.
You know,
and you know, this is what I spoke about today when I did a YouTube video, Mike. We don't know what our life lessons are.
Right.
We really don't know what our life lessons are, and we don't know what we've written in our life contract.
Right.
We don't know. Because we forget it before we're born. But how do you know that she didn't sign up so she would die at that stage to help other 50 people?
Yeah.
You know, and that self-sacrifice.
Right.
What a lesson to learn.
Yeah.
You know, I say it because a lot of people say, oh, I've lost my child. Why would God take them? Because we don't know whether they had to teach us a lesson, if they were put into our lives for us to learn how important life is, or what sacrifice means, you know, because there's so many thousands of lessons that we can learn. You know, not all of them are good. You know, we do have to learn how to be greedy in order to appreciate what is generosity.
Yeah.
You know, so we do become nasty people. So then we can see the other side of it to appreciate what is the goodness, you know.
I mean, and likewise, Linda, we've got to learn what it's like to feel hurt in order to love. Otherwise, you can never truly love.
Yes, you know, the more endurance that we have in these lifetimes, you know, look at right now, people say to me all the time, why did I sign up for this? I just say to them, why wouldn't you? Because this is your opportunity to learn valuable life lessons. Yeah. Are you compassionate to other people? Are you judging other people? Yeah. Are you accusing other people? Yeah. Are you bickering and gossiping about other people during this time? Yeah. Because that's all things for you to look at and say, is this in my true intention of who the person I want to be?
Yeah.
Is this a lesson, like an exam, where I'm going to pass it or fail dismally? And a lot of people are failing them dismally. Yeah. But you know, as long as we keep shining that light to everyone, showing compassion to everybody, you know. I've just replied to a lady tonight, and she said, oh my God, I've had the thing. And I said, darling, I'm never going to judge you. I won't ever accuse you. No. You know, I wish the best for everybody because I don't want, you know, it comes down to segregation, which is the word for the week, isn't it, here in Australia? Yeah. Segregation. You know, the uns can do what the haves can. It's like the haves and the have-nots, if you know what I mean, with this thing. The haves and the have-nots. The haves now can enjoy cinemas. They can go to pubs, whereas the have-nots, they can't do anything. So it's a total segregation.
I can't even go for a coffee.
Wow.
I'm not even allowed to go for a coffee in one of the traditional old Austrian coffee shops.
And whose loss is that, Mike? Seriously, you can sit, you know, you can buy coffee from the grocery shop, sit in your backyard and enjoy that amazing Austrian view, or go and pay someone who I call a bigot.
Yeah.
See, I'm calling them bigots at this point because I believe that they are. They're opinionated. They're segregators, and I don't want to associate with segregators at this point,
No.
because I just allow everybody to do what they want.
Yeah.
You know, so if I had a business right now, I'd be saying doors open to all.
Yeah.
No judgment.
Yeah. Well,
respect me and I'll respect you. That's my laws.
Talking of judgment, Diamond Jim made a few judgments before.
Let's get on with him, or else we'll be talking till 9 o'clock again, Mike, which will be like after lunch for you. So we better get on with Diamond Jim.
Well, Diamond Jim, let me give you guys a quick head up. Diamond Jim, a very self-opinionated person before his near-death experience. Naturally, it changed him. What I found quite warming with this was the sincerity of the guy, and how a guy from, you know, I'm Diamond Jim and I'm the big I am, after his NDE had the humility to be humble.
When he started crying, oh my gosh, it's just poured out of me as well, Mike, because you can see his honesty with this story.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Let's run this.
Let's go then.
Here we go.
At 61 years old, Jim was diagnosed with Guillain-Barré syndrome, a rare incurable disease resulting in chronic pain.
Unremitting electrical current pain in every part of my body, accompanied with paralyzing inability to move.
For the next 5 years, Jim relied on prescription meds to manage the pain.
He was just getting to be a very angry person. The pain was just consuming him.
Never once, and this speaks to the arrogance, did I reach inside or look up to the sky and say, God, if you exist, help me out here. Not me, not Diamond Jim.
Later that month, after taking more than 4 times his dosage, Jim went to inspect a field he was planning to sell. He says while sitting in his truck, he felt a growing, burning sensation in his legs.
And suddenly I realized I couldn't breathe, and it was as though the cab of the truck was filling with water. As I'm about to draw my last breath, from somewhere inside of me that I didn't even know existed, I cried out, God, forgive me, forgive me.
When Jim didn't come home, Lorraine called the police. He was found in his truck unresponsive and was rushed to the hospital. Lorraine rallied friends and family to pray.
The head doctor came out and he said, your husband is severely brain damaged. There's no brain activity there. And he said, we have him on full life support because his organs have all shut down. He said, there is no way to bring him back. I was apologizing for praying what I prayed, but I didn't know it would come to this.
There was something else she didn't know. Since the attack, Jim had been experiencing a very different reality.
I look to the right, and there's this incredible vista of beautiful flowers and meadows. And I turn my vision to the left, and that beautiful green grass went from green to brown to scorched to black and dropped off in a crevasse. I saw the most hideous creature you could ever imagine. And I fell back in abject terror, the look of hatred in its eyes for me and all of mankind. But at this point, I turned toward the light, and I raised both hands this time, and I cried out, God, help me, help me.
Then, Jim says 3 angels came and took him through heaven.
And I realized I was looking at none other than Jesus Christ, the Son of God. And he looked at me with those violet eyes, and all I heard was, James, what did you do with the life my master gave you? I had no answer. But as I looked into his eyes and he smiled at me, he smiled at me, he knew me. I saw such intense love and forgiveness for me who deserved nothing. And that was the moment I was his forever. Whatever was about to become of me, I was his. I loved him, and he loved me.
Jim says he wanted to stay, but Jesus had other plans for him.
Go back and tell your brothers and sisters of the wonders we have shown you. Suddenly, I'm in a cold hospital room on a gurney, screaming at the top of my lungs, scared the daylights out of some of the nurses.
And a nurse came out and said, Mrs. Woodford, can you come here with me? And I thought, he's gone.
I'm just overwhelmed that I'm seeing Lorraine again. I said, look, Lorraine, I saw Jesus, and Jesus has horses.
Jesus has horses. Beautiful story. A beautiful story. Linda, did you say off air when we were speaking that there was something comparable to your NDE?
Oh, are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready? Okay. All right, let's just go there. I love how he said somewhere inside of me that I didn't even know existed. We're talking about a man prior to the date that he died. He was a very egotistical, selfish, not a very nice sort of guy, okay? Wondering why his wife was staying with him. But anyway, that's nothing for me to judge exactly, right? So we've got a man who's led a bad life. Let's go in like biblical terms. Yeah. He led a bad life, okay? When he passed, how long was he unresponsive for? Because the paramedics found him unresponsive. And you've got to remember, the wife only rang the ambulance because he wasn't home from work.
Right.
When I died, in my medical files, it says 14 minutes, but it could have been hours? I don't know. Because I remember going to sleep, and then my ex-husband, he said that he heard someone banging on the wall. That wasn't me. Because I don't remember I wasn't well enough to do that. So we've got that similarity there where how long had we been like unresponsive for? Okay. The first thing he said was the vista of flowers. Anyone who's read my books know that I talk about the field of flowers that I found myself in. The valleys, the meadows, the vista, as he calls it. But then he looked down into this crevasse, an abyss, however you want to pronounce it.
Abyss, we would call it. Yeah.
I think what he's seeing there is the perspective of the life that he'd been leading to that point.
Yeah.
Because it's like this death, it's like a hell loop that we go into where we hang on to regrets and grudges. We relive all that pain that we've caused to others as well as ourselves. So I actually think that he had that hellish experience because he was a nasty person, right? But then 3 angels appeared. Now, anyone who reads my books or has seen my videos or whatever I've done, I clearly show the picture with the big 3.
Right.
The big 3. And when he said 3 angels appeared, I just got goosebumps because he's just spoken about the flowers that I was talking about in my book. Then he talks about the big 3. And it's like, whoa, this man is seeing the truth because I've personally seen it as well. The big 3. And then as he said, what did you do with the life the masters gave you? My goodness. So that was a chance for him to say, I have treated people badly. So he's having that self-psychoanalysis of realizing that his life wasn't that great up until that point. Being egotistical, selfish, whatever he was. And then for them to say, go back and tell others about go back and tell your brothers and sisters of the wonders I have shown you. That's virtually verbatim to what Karina told me. Because she said, go back, you've got to go back and tell others of what you've seen. So she virtually said the same thing there as well to me.
Right.
So do I believe this guy? 100%. You know, for a man to sit in front of a camera and to start crying the way he did, you could see that rawness, that honesty, and that humility, that there is something out there so far greater than himself, where prior to that event he thought that he was the bee's knees and he was the best, but now he's been so forgiven through their eyes and given a second chance, and look how he's used it. He's now come out in interviews saying, look, I was a bugger. I've had this experience, and now I want everyone to know that I love you all. That's virtually, in a nutshell, what he's saying. I love you all. You know, so
I think
my God,
what this
so
also gave him the opportunity to forgive himself, which I think is most important.
That's what it was. It was, yes, because when we are in front of those big three in our life review, they're not judging us.
No.
They're not asking for our forgiveness. We have to judge ourselves and forgive ourselves. For one, what we did to others. You know, if we scream at somebody, we have to forgive ourselves for what we did. But when other people like abuse us or they're nice to us, we also have to forgive ourselves how we reacted to those emotions as well. So if someone is nice to us, like say someone comes and they give you a big hug and they say, oh, I love you so much. And however you react, you've got to still forgive yourself for that, just to allow it and say, well, I now accept it, you know, because one of the biggest things with me, I don't like having, I'm very, very good at giving generosity to others, but I don't like receiving generosity back to myself. I feel, you know, I went through years where I didn't think I deserved other people to treat me nicely. So now that I've fixed that, I've analysed myself and I've fixed it, healed it, here's the word, healed it, because this is what he's done as well. You know, Diamond Jim, and I don't even think he'd even call himself Diamond Jim anymore.
I doubt very much that.
I doubt highly too, because he is now healed that egotistical side of him, where he now can treat others as equals to himself. And, you know, it is amazing story that he's shared, you know, total goosebump moment. There was so many similarities. That field, when he was talking about the field, I thought, my God, that's where I was again. When he mentioned the big three, I was like, oh, that's straight from my book. Has he read my book? But then you realise that this is from a few years ago before I even wrote it. And, you know, I drew the big three, that picture, I drew that in 2001 after I woke up. So how did we both have that same similarity occur? You know, unless we both experienced it. So amazing story, Mike. Amazing.
I mean, fortunately, we don't have to experience an NDE for self-forgiveness.
We really don't.
We just need self-awareness.
Yeah, and that's why we do this show, correct? You know, that's why I've now got my YouTube channel. Anyone that I'll just give a plug, anyone that wants to go to YouTube, Dr. Dr. Linda Kramer. That's me.
What about your books, Linda, while you're at it? Throwing your books, where can they find them?
Well, I will go there. I've got 3 books. The first one's called Heaven Exposed, My Near-Death Experience. But it's only 100 pages, and the feedback is, Linda, it's too short. So now I've added more pictures. I've added more depth of my stories, more about what my great-great-great-great-grandmother taught me. The memories that I went through during my life review. I've spoken now about what chairs are in heaven. Ha, 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 because we don't have a body to use chairs. But chairs are everywhere. So I've explained why there's chairs everywhere. So it's going to be about 220 pages, and it's going to be called 5 Years in Heaven. So that's my near-death experience book. It's going to be called 5 Years in Heaven. Then I've got a ghost book, because ghosts are the ones who've taught me why they stay. So that's an educational book. It's getting updated. So presently it's about 100 pages, but it's going to be about 150 because I'm putting in all question and answers as well. And then I've got Heal to Success, which is going to be called The Teachings of Heaven. How to get through all our grudges, regrets, and egotism like Diamond Jim had, so then we can be heaven on earth before we get up to that life review, because then it's an awesome experience for us. Yeah. So they're all on my website, lindaray.info. But I'm slowly getting there, Mike, because I'm going to get them published. I'm going to go to Lulu, same as you. I've looked at Lulu. I like Lulu. So they're going to be put on Lulu. And then I can do sponsored ads on Facebook, etc., and do like promotions, advertising, etc. But I do not spam people. Anyone who emails me, I do not collect mailing lists, okay? Yeah. So if you do email me and say, hey, I'd love a book at this point, I do give them away for free because, hello, you're only getting the snippet because they're all updated. But if you do want it for free, just email me and I'm happy to send them all to you. Because, you know, I'm, as Mike would agree, because we're both so much like-minded people, you know, we do, all, like our show tonight, it's all free, guys. You know, everything we discuss on these nights are free. There's no monetary gain in it for us. We just want to get the word out there. And that's why we want you guys to be active with us as well and comment and feel like you're a part of this.
Part of the show,
because, you know, the world is lacking love, compassion, empathy, and most of all, caring, loving people. Yeah. And, you know, we've got to keep that strong within here, within our chest. So, there you go. I've just said enough. Because I know
well, to watch. Ian, thank you for purchasing my book. Much appreciated. You know, I don't have any intention of. There's two sides to this. I don't have any intention of writing another book. That's my personal view. But something keeps telling me that I've got to write another one. I had it here. So
I had your book right here. I was just going to show it again because I had it the other week.
Yeah.
I know I showed it to a friend when she came over. Oh, bugger, it's not here. Bugger. Oh,
never mind.
Sorry.
Never mind. But
I was just going to plug your book.
We'll give it a plug next week.
Yeah. But we've still got a video, so I'll go look for it while the video's on.
I've got
because we've still got to look at Mike Marano.
The work,
no, we've looked at that one. Paul Humphries.
The work of Paul Humphries. What a fabulous medium. Again, never heard of this guy, but I'm going to find out a lot more about him. This is evidential mediumship, I think, at its best.
This is at its best, guys. So if you want to see what a really good psychic medium or elemental medium does, this one's a good one.
Here we go. Let's run this.
Somewhere on this road, there's a lady in a brown jumper, lady in blue. Are you guys together? Let's have a look, see what we get. Shove it in the middle. That's it. Are you the most senior person of the family? You are. Oh, bless your heart. Let's work with you. Okay. Yeah, is that okay? I have a lady, what drew me really to the lady in brown, but you're all together, yes? You're all family. Okay, that's good. So this is a family connection. This feels like a mother love to me, to you. Okay. Yeah. Now, the first impressions I get from this lady, it's almost like I want to say my marbles are back. Okay. And I feel there may have been some kind of Alzheimer's or dementia or something on those lines from this lady, you see. And it's like, tell them everything is ticking correctly. I'm back to normal. I am fine. I love you all. I've never left you. This is a lovely feeling that I'm getting. Now, there's a name that's been mentioned here I hope you can place. But it did sound a little bit like Lisa. Who's Lisa? Me. Ooh. That's, oh, she wants to pass you the mic, look. Nice to meet you, darling. Okay, so this will be your grandmother, and she's watching over you. And there's a mention of somebody called, it sounded like Jade.
Jade is my daughter.
Jade. And Lily or Molly or something.
Molly, my daughter.
Brilliant. Sorry?
That's my mum.
And you're Lil?
And that's my sister.
You're Lily?
Lynn.
All right. Oh, that's not a million miles off.
Molly.
Molly, that's
and
it.
Jade is my other daughter.
Wonderful. This lovely lady is watching over you guys, and that's really, really nice to see. And like I said, the conditions she was facing have gone, and she's happy, and she's met with loved ones up there, and everybody's getting on all right. There was also a mention as well, I don't know if it's like a Darren or a Daz or something, or...
That's my partner, Darren.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. And Daz. I can see where she's watched over this person, and I give this with love and respect. Is he still mardy? Is he still a bit moody at times?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sure he's a great guy, bless him. But this lovely lady is aware of him, and I can see she watches him and is like, oh, I need to put a rocket up his backside and get him a bit motivated at times. Yeah. Okay. But she's done it out of love. It's not to kind of say somebody's bad or anything, because he's not, and I feel a good guy. But I just feel like I want to motivate him a little bit, which is really, really nice. Now, there's a thought that's been put into my head here as an image, and there's a little boy that I keep seeing. And the little boy is here, is alive. But the little boy, he looks so cute. And the only way I can describe it, it's almost as if I'm looking at the Milky Bar kid. Like with the glasses and everything.
That's my grandson.
Oh, yeah, wonderful. Well, this lovely, lovely lady, so she's going to be his great grandmother, great grandmother.
Great.
She's watching over this little boy with a lot of interest. Okay, I saw it in my thoughts, like the Milky Bar kid kind of image, the glasses, blonde hair, and I can see her as she watches over this little boy. She shows me that he may be just a little bit susceptible to the spirit world. He might get to feel things and see things, you see. Okay, and that this lovely lady is very intrigued by him, and she comes in visitation. She's watching.
That's him.
Oh my word!
And he has been known as the Milky Bar Kid.
Can I just show everybody if they can see it? Oh, what a great confirmation! If everybody can see. How fantastic is that? Oh, thank you for sharing that. Oh, bless you. Oh.
There we go. I think that's mediumship at its best.
That's right.
So,
and while that was going, Mike, I just want to go with the plug. It's called Proof of Survival, people. It's behind door number 2. It's called Proof of Survival, a development guide for evidential mediumship by our one and only Mike Cavalli. And inside we even have a nice little photo of him.
Oops.
Whoops, where did it go?
There's me.
There he is.
There I am.
There you go, Mike. So there's a plug for Mike's book. It's available on Lulu.
Very gracious.
Proof of Survival. There you go.
Thank you for that.
I like plugging people's books, guys. Okay.
So
it's all good.
There we are.
It's all good.
Oh, Ian says it was pretty quick from Lulu. Yeah, they have 3 printing stations around the world, and I think one of them is in Australia. I'm not sure.
New South Wales is where I got mine
is
from.
It New South Wales? Yeah.
Yeah, so they do print them in Australia.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm going to use Lulu for my 5 years in heaven and my teachings of ghosts and the teachings of heaven. So, yeah, I just got to get a time and a place to sit on the computer and finish writing about them.
Yeah.
It's all good. It's slowly coming.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Anyway.
Well.
Yeah.
It's about
so, Mike,
that
let's
time,
just.
But there you are. Sorry, Linda.
No, I just want to go back to Paul Humphries and stay on point for a moment. The way that he was talking about the Milky Bar Kid, that's sort of what happens with me too. They show me something that's similar.
Yeah.
I had this lady pop in one day and she was holding a turtle. So I said to the lady, "What's with the turtle?" And she said, "What's the turtle doing?" And I said, "Well, she's holding the turtle like a baby, but it's a turtle." And she said, "My mum," who this lady was, she actually had another daughter and his name was Myrtle.
Myrtle, yeah.
So you got to watch this. She's doing this with her arms like a baby. And the baby's name was Myrtle, but she was showing me a turtle.
Yeah.
So they show us things that are very similar. So we say, "Oh, turtle," where it's Myrtle, okay? So they show us things that are similar, and that's why this guy, Paul Humphries, he was seeing the Milky Bar Kid in his head.
Yeah.
Because they give us things that are similar. Okay, guys? That's, I'm giving you a hint on how we do this, okay? One day a lady came through and she showed me an orange. She had an orange in her hand. So I said, what's the story with oranges? And she said, well, my mother's maiden name was Orange.
Yeah.
And so see how they show us that connection? They show us that it's a connection.
Yeah.
So, and it's also a confirmation then too. So the person says, wow, I was really just talking to that lady.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, Paul, I love the way he spoke.
Yeah.
I love the way that he explained it. I'm seeing the Milky Way Kid, because he would be actually seeing that, like a vision, like a memory in his head.
Yeah.
So he's an amazing medium. I'm glad that he's out there.
Yeah.
You know, it's beautiful. Yeah.
I mean, I'd like to just add, the way I receive messages, if it's not feeling or hearing, often with my inner ear, if I'm doing a gallery work or platform work, I can sometimes hear it with my physical ear. But they do that. They'll give me an orange. And like you said, that would be the surname. If I've had this before, where a lady has come through in spirit, an elderly lady, and I start to describe the elderly lady, then they present my mother into my conscious awareness, and then I know that this lady had the same personality as my mother, and so I would start describing very easily this lady, and then obviously when that's done, Mum's image would drop off again.
So this is where, how do they know what to give us? Let me just explain. I went to this psychic years ago, and when I held his hand, he actually gave me a pen, which is called psychometry.
Yeah.
When we touch something and we get the like a residue of it, of energy.
Yeah.
When this guy gave me his pen, I actually saw my father in my head, and I said, my God, is your name Richard? And he said, yes, it is. And I said, now I'm getting a picture of my Auntie Jean, which is my dad's sister.
Yeah.
And he said, my wife's name's Jean.
Yeah.
See how we get our information, guys?
Yeah.
So how did they know to give us those thought processes, But obviously that day it was me using my psychic ability, because I got his name and then I got his wife's name. But, when spirit come to us, they can show us things that you think, what the heck? I'm not going to say this to them because, they're showing me a bloody turtle, but even the smallest things of detail, we must say those things because it could mean so much to the client.
That's exactly what I tell people in the circle. No matter how bizarre it sounds, that might be the piece of evidence that person is looking for.
Let me just go there. I had a lady come here, about 6 months ago. And I said to her, she actually said to me, my granddaughter died. She was only about 4 years old, this poor little kid. Can you see if she comes through? So this little girl came through, and I was explaining the dress. She had this white dress on, and her hair had a ribbon in it and stuff. And for some reason, I started talking about the shoes. They were like a polished shoe with like a buckle thing over the top, and there was like a little flower up on the top of the toes. And she said, Linda, that's the confirmation. So she opened her phone, and she had a photo of the shoes, because they put the shoes on her when they buried her.
Right.
And she said, how would you know that detail so much unless she was actually here?
Yeah.
So, we don't think about telling people, this is the shoes they're wearing. But that was the confirmation that day that she needed. And she actually showed me the photo, and then I got the chills because they were the same as what this spirit was when she came through.
Yeah.
So if you do want to learn elemental mediumship, I would suggest you buy Proof of Life by Mike Cavalli. It is available on Lulu. It does go into how to do it, the reading. It is a quite complex little book. I love it. But, just remember, guys, when you do connect with the spirit, just remember every little detail that they do show you, because the smallest thing, just even a little ribbon in their hair, could mean so much to that person that is waiting to hear the messages. Okay.
And if you're practicing, if you're, you know, in a circle, or you just want to practice with some friends, don't worry about being wrong, because like tonight, for example, I have a circle with some mediums. They're mediums. It's like a think tank thing that we do. And I get a lot of stuff wrong in this evening, because we're looking for new ways to try and attract the energy for them, spirit, to give us new ways of doing things. So I do get a lot of things wrong, but that's the only way I can expand my consciousness and allow another way of spirit to get the information in. And I think that's very important. So if you're just in a circle or you're practicing with friends, the only way you can get right is to know what's wrong and the feeling of what's wrong.
And stay humbled, guys.
Yeah.
You know, it's all right to say, I've made a mistake. It's fine. Because if psychics, let's just go there, Mike, okay? If psychics got it right every single time, our profession would be accredited courses and we would come under government insurances, because it would be verified as a legitimate occupation or professionalism. But because there is so much difference, there's so many inaccuracies as well as accuracies in there, it's not reliable enough to be called, we can't validate it. That's the word, validation. It can't be validated in any sort of like accredited course or anything that would be like a named profession then, where you could get insurance and use it as a proper profession. So just remember that, guys. There is a reason why psychic and spiritualism is not under any sort of government regulation. Because it can, and it is, and it always is, can be wrong. Okay? So the best thing, my advice, whatever information you get, you share it anyway. Because it's up to those people whether they see the confirmation. Because I've had people ring me 3 days later and they'll say, Linda, I didn't know what you were talking about with like the white shoes, right?
Yeah.
But then I went home and I saw an old photo of that person and they were wearing these white shoes that you were detailing. So you don't know if it's, you know, you hear them say, oh, no, that's no relevance to me today. But then they go home and they get that confirmation. You know, I said to a lady, who's Vicky? I said to this woman one day, who's Vicky? I said, I'm seeing this Vicky, very prominent, Vicky. And about a week later, she rang me and she said, I told you that day I have no Vickies in my life. There's no Vickies in my family. I was actually angry with you because you said Vicky. 2 days later, I was in a car accident and the lady who hit me was a lady called Vicky. She said, now I know why you're picking up Vicky, because she was going to cause me a bit of grief because now my car's in the shop. I've got an injury. So, you know, we can't say definitively unless spirit or guides or angels tell us, oh, tell her to be careful, she's going to be in a car accident in 2 days. They don't usually do that, okay? So it's best to just share all the information and hope and pray that there is a confirmation in there somewhere, okay? Don't have any expectations and don't judge yourself, guys, because it is a learning curve, okay? It really is. So, you know, we're at 8:30, guys. So if there is any messages that you want me to say tonight, the one I'd say to you guys is stay strong and stay on your path. Don't give up, because the energies are going downhill really badly. Stay true to yourself in the next couple of weeks, because we're down to 2 weeks and 5 days. I'm on a countdown. That's who she is telling me. We're on a countdown. It's 2 weeks and 5 days. The 2nd of November, something's happening. Let's just put it out there now so it is out there as a prophecy. Something is happening on the 2nd of November. So let's just hope and pray that through the next couple of weeks we do get through it with our sanity, our health, and most of all our love. Don't judge anybody, who they are and what they've done to themselves. Don't judge them. Just allow them and say, thank you for being here in this experiment with me. Because this is a big experiment. Hello, it's not FDA approved yet. It's still an experimentation. So we're in this experiment. So who wouldn't want to be here? So gracefully accept that we're here.
Yeah.
Be grateful. Appreciate the life that we've got. And most of all, love from here. Because I love yous all. Okay?
And
That was my final.
I'll leave you with this thought. I've said it before, but for some people who haven't heard it before, ships don't sink because of the water that's around them. They only sink when water gets inside them. So the moral of the story, don't let what's going on around you get inside you, and you survive.
If we emit that feeling outwards, that water can never come in.
No.
Guys, okay? So I hope you've liked tonight's show, guys. If
Yep.
you do want to be on the show, contact Mike or me.
Yep.
Do up a little video and get you on the show. Yay!
Yay! Okay, guys. Look,
Have a good day,
thanks
guys.
for everything.
You know,
We'll see you next
nighttime
week.
here in Australia. It's a cold night. We'll see you next week, guys. Have a great one, okay? Stay true.
Ciao.
Okay?
Bye-bye.
Bye.